All right, guys. Come on in and just have a seat on the floor. Everybody just find a seat on the floor.
Crisscross applesauce.
Crisscross applesauce. We get to do it on the weekends, so we're going to do it tonight. Crisscross applesauce on the floor. We're going to get into small groups here in just a minute. Yeah. We're going to practice spreading our small groups out across the room. Very cool. So how many of you guys are currently serving in one of the curriculum rooms right now? And then the rest of you, I'm assuming, have never been you've never served in a curriculum room? Okay, so there's quite a few of you. That is awesome. So my name is Stephen Hirschberger. I'm the Associate Live Kids Pastor at our Broken Arrow campus. And tonight what I'm going to be doing is really just taking you guys on a really fast track through what one of these rooms would look like. All of them are run exactly the same. So you see one, you've seen them all. I'm going to take you really quickly through what that looks like so that when you get here, even this weekend, you will be ready to roll without a problem, because it is super simple, right? For those of you that are in it, it's a really simple process. What I'll start with is probably just how to open the rooms up. So that's probably the best place to start. When you get here, a lot of the things I'm going to show you will have already been done for you, but by chance they're not done, it's going to be a really good idea for you to know how to make that work. So obviously you know how to turn on the lights in the room. The room should be up and running. The TV should be on. Here at the South Broken Arrow campus, the power switch is right on this corner of the TV. So you'll just turn that on. It's probably different at different campuses, so if you've served before, it's different. You'll turn the power on down here on the bottom. Your Roku, we run all of our programming through Roku from our central service. So your Roku device will actually be hanging right here behind the TV. That's slightly different too. That'll be hanging back here. You'll grab that. It's already always on, so it's ready to go. All you will need to do is make sure that it's in the proper place. So you're going to get to, let's just pretend that it's completely off. You're going to be right here. You have the LiveChurch.tv, you have Live Kids right there. You're going to click on Live Kids with the button OK. You'll hit the OK button. It's going to pull up this menu, and then you're going to be able to decide out of 3 things. 2 of them we use on the weekend. This one, Little Live Kids, is something we use on Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights here at the South Broken Arrow campus are starting on the 25th of February. If you don't know about that, please ask Stacia all about it. I'm sure she would love to have your help. And it is a riot. It's a blast with Connect Plus, Little Live Kids, and Switch, and all kinds of stuff going on. Roots going on in the building. So the music videos is what we play when the kids are coming in, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And then this weekend is what you'll hit for the current story. All right? And we'll walk through how we're going to use that. If by chance you cannot figure out how your Roku's not working, you try to turn it on and you're hitting all the buttons on your remote and nothing is happening, and you're all frustrated, the way to reset your Roku is simply reaching behind the television itself, and this is the Roku device right here. All right? You just slide that out and just all you have to do is pull the power plug. Pull the power plug out, and as soon as you pull it out, you'll count to 10, and those 10 seconds resets it. You put the power plug back in, you're going to see the word Roku dancing across the screen, and it'll do that for quite a little while, so just be prepared for that. If it happens in the middle of an experience, be ready to pull something out of your hat and do something for just a little bit while it's resetting. But that'll pull right up and you'll have your programming back again. All right? If you have any other troubles, you guys have radios in the room, you can just grab a radio, call somebody, and someone will be here to help you try to get it all going again. All right, that really is how we get everything going in the room. We do have all of the toys with a purpose, and I'm going to quickly walk you through that. These toys are very intentional. They've been picked intentionally for what they are. They're kinesthetically driven toys, so they're going to get the kids working with their hands. What kid doesn't like toys, right? So they love it. They love coming in and working with that. They'll always be on this cart when you come in, so you're going to want to pull them out of the cart, and you can decide where you want them spread out around the room. So you'll want to put some on the floor in different places. You can even use the tables to spread some toys out on and just create different stations of play. This table will always have paper on it for you and crayons, and that one stays static. The rest of the Toys with a Purpose actually do not. You'll only see them once a month, and they're on a rotation. So you and the kids will have different toys in here every single week, and that's a really cool thing that Live Kids, that we do here to make sure that the kids have a lot of choices and very creative play for them. I would say that's pretty much it on getting your room set and you're ready to go. Then you're going to want to turn the music on, and the kids are going to start checking in, and it's going to be a lot of fun from there. So the room is open, so let's go ahead and just start with how to run the program, how to run the curriculum. There's two things, because you want to be very intentional about what you do in this room. You have preschool kids, obviously, that you're working with, early childhood kids, and that requires a lot of special attention. And some of you that are in this room, you know that, you understand that. So you have to be pretty creative in this room, do some fun stuff with the kids. I'll tell you what, I'll just break it down into two things that'll completely change the way you interact with the kids, the way you do life in these programmed rooms, in the curriculum rooms. The number one thing would be boundaries, laying down great boundaries for the kids. If you don't do that, the kids will literally run right over the top of you. And have you ever been run over the top by a kid? Yeah. It's not fun. It's not fun at all. And you can literally walk out the door at the end of a weekend just going, you're just exhausted. Instead of really having God's pleasure in that room, you walk out exhausted. The number one reason why people walk away from children's ministry is because they've been trampled right over the top of by kids. That's no one's fault but yours. Yay! Isn't that nice to hear? You're the one that causes that. It's a cause and effect. So if you allow them to do that, they do it. Many adults do allow kids to do that, and it's because we live in a society where people want to be kids' friends, and it's really created a lot of distortion in our society. And so in Live Kids, the best thing you can do is to lay strong boundaries for them and then really hold to it. Be very consistent, and those kids will honor that. They will absolutely honor it. Even kids that do not honor boundaries for their parents will honor boundaries here, and that's the cool thing about kids. They're so resilient and they're so smart that they can have a different set of rules and boundaries for mom and dad, for grandma and grandpa, for Live Kids, and they can honor them all exactly how they're expected. So let's just do it right from the very start. So the boundaries we would have in there, a lot of them would just completely make sense. Obviously the door is a boundary, right? Once the kid walks in this door, they're not going to walk back out of that door. That's a boundary, that's a safety thing for us. Another thing would be allowing kids to just run around the room willy-nilly, running fast. They're going to crash into each other, there's going to be blood and tears, and it's going to be sad. So we don't let them do that. You're looking at each other like, yeah, that's happened. Yeah, exactly. It's no fun. So there's little boundaries like that completely make sense. We're not going to let the kids get up on top of the tables and start dancing, even though they love to do that. We're not going to let them do that. So just stuff that makes sense as an adult or a student leader in here, just use your head. That's the best advice I can give you, and don't let kids do things that you know kids shouldn't be doing. And things will go very smooth for you. Now, when it's time for the kids to play, we have playtime. Here it is, we have playtime. It's time for the kids to play. We want them to play and have fun. When it's time for the kids to clean up, we want them to clean up. So we want everybody to help. You're going to have some kids that'll come and they'll gather around the front because they don't want to clean up. They want to let the other kids clean up. That's a great time just to redirect them. Go alongside, maybe even grab their hand and help them pick up some toys and put them, and they'll get the idea that that's a boundary in here. We all help each other to do that. Another thing would be sitting down for the prop talk or the movie and music time. That's another boundary. We're not going to let kids just run around willy-nilly during that time, all right? So you can do that. We break up into small groups in here, so you'll have just a few kids, 6 to 8 primarily, kids that'll be seated around you. And when a kid gets up during prop talk or movie and music time, you'll just simply and you're an adult, you're a student leader, you can totally do that. And you just pull them back down. And if one of the kids from your small group gets up and starts running around the room, guess whose fault that is? Yes, it's your fault. So just don't let it happen. You be the adult, all right? And you hold these kids to a standard, and it'll be awesome. Is that clear? Any questions about that whatsoever? Yes.
Okay, so like I've experienced this, that when I sit down, then the kids all say they have to go get a drink or go to the bathroom.
Yeah. So one of the things that, actually we started doing this recently at Broken Arrow, and it was a lifesaver. Thank you, Jesus, hallelujah. We started, when you get into the room, you have quite a bit of time during your playtime. When you're 10 minutes out, even 15 minutes out, getting ready before you start your cleanup time, you start announcing potty time. And just tell them, line up if you need to go potty, line up at the bathroom, and they'll line up and they'll start using the restroom one at a time. It takes forever, but then thank God they're done. And we even tell the kids, no potty time during church. We're not going to go potty during church. I used to tell them it's closed, but that's rude. It's not really technically closed. So anyway, that will help with that so that they're not doing that. So we had Wednesday night, we had a kid, we told the kids, no bathroom during worship. In Connect Plus, cannot go to the bathroom during worship. There was a kid that came out right after worship, and he's like, well, I was holding it for 3 songs. It was just really funny. It was great. So you can really have control over that as well. All right? The second thing, any other questions about that? The second thing is stepping outside of your comfort zone. So all of us have a comfort zone, and it's all different for all people. Now, you've probably heard the statement that the beginning of your life starts at the end of your comfort zone, and it's kind of the same way in Life Kids. The beginning of great children's ministry is at the end of your comfort zone, especially in early childhood. You have to be a little bit different than you just typically are with other adults or even older kids, because they're just so cute, they're so wonderful, and they love for us to be all animated and bouncy and just crazy like that, and they will actually be more engaged in what you have to say if you're like that. Isn't it funny? It's really funny, but it works. So I used to tell people all the time, just take and flex your voice up at the end when you say things. So if you were going to say things like this, then you would say things like this. And it really works. So think about that. If that's something completely weird for you and you're like, I just don't know if I can ever do that, then practice in front of the mirror. And just get in front of the mirror and just talk to yourself. And see if you can really step out of your comfort zone a little bit. For some of you, stepping out of your comfort zone might even be raising your voice, the level of your voice, because some people just kind of naturally talk lower like this. And for the kids, they lose track completely. So if you're really, really quiet when you're talking to them, well, now it's time for prop talk, you guys. Isn't that going to be fun? You will lose the whole room, and your small group leaders will want to hurt you because they'll have kids trying to run all over the room. So stepping out of your comfort zone might just be raising your voice and speaking louder so the kids can start engaging in what you have to say, all right? So think about those 2 areas. If you can get those 2 areas down, you will flourish in the early childhood curriculum rooms. You will just absolutely blow it out of the water because the kids already love you. You could just be something else and the kids just love you just because you're in here with them. So you've got that down, and then once you start getting more animated and excited and that passion starts coming out of you for what kids are. It's so easy to be passionate for kids when you're back in Life Kids. The passion is so easy when you start tapping into how their life is being changed because of you. Just because of your willingness to come and serve. I am a result of a kid who gave my life to Jesus when I was 8 years old. And there were people in my life that were leading me to become a fully devoted follower of Christ. And I'm standing here today, and I'm a part of Life Church because of people that did that. That's you guys. That's you. For all these kids that are going to be coming through the door. So it's pretty cool. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and walk you through these cards. These cards are over here in Broken Arrow, so if I keep walking to the wrong side, that's why. I'm going to walk you through these cards. Each one of these has a very special purpose, and it's very intentional why we use it. So I'm going to give you the card and why, the why behind it, and the use for it. And then what I'm going to do is actually do a small little prop talk for you guys to give you an idea of what we're looking for in that area, because it is simple but super, super fun. So the first card we have over here is our play card. And that just simply means that it's playtime. So we're checking kids in at the door and getting having their parents sign the clipboard. They sign their ID and their signature. We actually can check the signature. If a parent loses their parent ID, we can match their signature up against their driver's license or their ID. If that doesn't work, then you have to send them back to guest services. All right, so we're checking the kids in and it's playtime. You've already set the toys out because we already talked about that. What you'll want to do at that time is be very intentional for two things. Spend time with the kids, hang out with the kids, use their name. Thank God we have name tags. Use their name while you're playing with them. And then be very intentional to look for kids that are having a hard time making connections in the room, because that is the hardest thing for them to come back the next weekend if it was a non-relational experience for them and they just stood in there and they were freaked out the whole time. So if I have my choice of playing with any kid, I'm going to glance across the room and look for any kid that's having a hard time connecting, and then you go out of your way. Even if the first weekend that's all you do is hang out with that kid, then you've created a great experience for them. There's a good chance that it could be a brand new kid. So I know we put the tags on them too, the full color Life Kids tags, to let us know when someone's here for the very first time. But they could be relatively new, and it's a great idea to keep your eye out for that. So we're playing with the kids. The reason why we have the cards up here in this order is to help kids have a timeline. So there's kids all the time. You'll see kids in the room that have separation anxiety, and they're just a little freaked out that their mommy or daddy just dropped them off in this room, and now they're going away. And so this actually gives them a visual timeline as a preschooler that they're going to have to move through each one of these cards, and when each one of the cards gets flipped over, then it's mommy or daddy is going to be back. So we're walking them through the cards as we go. So as playtime ends, we're going to tell the kids, we're going to say, all right guys, playtime is all done now. Guess what time it is? And your room is going to say, it's cleanup! They're going to be so excited. And the cleanup song that comes with our curriculum just tells them what to do and tells them all about cleanup. And the cool thing is, it's got very catchy words, and moms and dads love us because the kids are at home singing the words to clean up, and it's time to clean up. So you're going to switch the star over to cleanup and tell them, that's right, it's time for cleanup. And then they're going to start cleaning up the room. Like I said before, you're going to have to assist them a little bit and help them figure out where everything goes. But they'll get it figured out, and they'll start even loading them back right where everything goes. During cleanup time is a perfect time to start breaking all of the kids up into small groups. You want to be really intentional in getting the kids broken up into small groups to put space on the carpet in between each group. I say that because you want, as small group leaders, to know exactly who your kids are. And if they're kind of mushed together, it's very hard to tell, oh, was that a kid I'm supposed to be watching? Oh, now I'm confused. And so you want really clear boundaries between each of your small groups. You can spread them out all over the room. Eventually, as we grow like crazy here at South Broken Arrow, you may even start having to use the tables as additional small groups if you have to do that. So let's practice that right now. Let's have 4 of you. I need 4 of you raise your hands that want to be small group leaders. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, you guys can be small group leaders. Stand up and come up here with me. All right. Now, here's what I need my small group leaders to do. I want you guys, you're the small group leaders in here now. So I want you to walk through the room and gather up your small group and start getting them into little huddles. So one of the small groups can be right over here. And as a point person, when you're in here doing point, you can even tell your leaders where you want the groups to go. All right, all of you are going to get a chance to do point because we all share and do point. So a group will go right over here, and then I'll have another group right over here, and then let's put another group right back here, and then another group right back here. And then I'll get you guys go ahead and start gathering them up, gathering people up.
Hi,
and just get in the middle
Did you get your toys? Would you like to be in my group? Small group. Okay, that's awesome. Hey, you're such a small group leader. Okay, so this is perfect little small groups. Now, do you see where you as small group leaders can see who you're watching for? All right, you're just in little huddles, and you can see all the kids that are in your small group. All right, so small groups, you can turn and face the front. All right, so you've got the kids all in your small group. And that's finishing up your cleanup time. Now, on the curriculum, let me show you how this works. Once you start the weekend, here's your cleanup song. It's starting, all right? You've got that whole time through the cleanup to do this. At the end of cleanup, that's the only time you have to. There's one other time you may want to, but this is the only time you will have to pause the curriculum, all right? The pause button is right below the OK button on here. And so let me forward this along so you can see what happens. You're going to get a screen that comes up that says Prop Talk. And right there, you're going to want to hit pause. All right? Take the time that you need to go ahead and formulate your small groups while that is up on the screen. I promise you, you'll be so glad that you've taken all the time you need to make sure you have good, strong small groups with a lot of space in between them, and use your whole room. You will have some kids say, I can't hear the TV. Turn it up. Just turn it up so they can hear it really well. Typically, I like to run the TV between 80 and 85. That scares some people. If it's too loud, you're too old. That's what I say. So you want it nice and loud, and it helps to engage the kids in the curriculum. If they're having to strain to hear Emily on the curriculum, then they're not going to be very engaged in it. So keep that in mind. Do not be afraid to turn that thing up and just really enjoy it. All right? So now we're all done with cleanup time. Guys, we're all done with cleanup time. Great job. What time is it now? Oh, you guys are lousy. What time is it now? Prop Talk! Yes, it's time for Prop Talk. Oh, that's going to be wonderful. And then you go into your Prop Talk teach. That is different every single weekend. You'll have a new Prop Talk in your curriculum bin, right here. And that's the one piece, the Prop Talk and the small group curriculum and the small group curriculum and the adventure book are new every single week. The curriculum on the video, on the movie, is the same for 4 to 5 weeks in a row. That's done intentionally because that repetition really gets the kids engaged. And the stories that have poured in, you guys, since we started the new curriculum, the stories that pour in from every campus of parents who are saying, oh my gosh, I can't believe that my kid came home and he's just rattling off the verse. Or he's telling me all about the point. Or I had a mom the other day who told me, they were on their way home from church and her little girl told her, Mom, I can do great big things for God. And that makes a mom want to cry. That happens through repetition. Kids love it. Have you ever seen how many times a kid will watch a movie? Like over and over and over until you just want to knock yourself in the head? It's awful. I can't even believe how many times I watched Thomas the Train with my kids and I didn't even like it. So anyway, they will watch stuff over and over and it really helps them to catch on to it. So you get your Prop Talk done, which we're going to go through here in just a minute. Get that done, you finish it up, and then you tell them, okay guys, We're all done with prop talk. What time do you think it is? You guys can do better. What time do you think it is?
Movie and music!
Yes, it is. That's how the kids are going to do it. Yes, it is. It's time for movie and music. And then you will come over and hit play, which is the pause button, right under OK. You'll hit play, and prop talk will go away. And Emily will come on with movie and music, and she's going to walk you through the curriculum from that point on. All right? It's a great idea to have this thing ready to turn up and just sing along. The kids are already going to know it. Any of the kids that are used to being in here, they're going to sing along on this song like crazy. All right? Now, one of the things that we'll talk about is how, one of the things, well, we can't leave her like that. That would just be horrible. One of the things we'll talk about is how to engage your small group in the curriculum. We'll talk about that here in just a minute, all right? So, we're moving through the curriculum, and Emily is taking us on an adventure through all these different things. We're going to go see Guy the Bible Guy. We're going to see Mr. Music and Shine, and all these different wonderful things are going to be happening, all right? There is one point where after we see Mr. Music, he's going to lead the kids into this incredible song. And when he gets done with that, he's going to invite the kids to stand up, and that's going to be our worship time, all right? Now, here is a common mistake that leaders make in the curriculum rooms at this point, and that is, number one, giving the kids the rights to the light switch. No, no, no. Don't ever do that. You will just want to hurt yourselves. The kids will all fight to jump up at that moment and run toward the light switch, and they will ram into each other's heads, and they will be very sad. And the ones that don't get knocked in the head are going to just be mad because they didn't get to flip on the switch. And then you've got a whole room that's just mad. So don't ever let the light switch be a thing that the kids are ever allowed to use unless you want to control it. So if you want to say to the kids, I'll pick somebody to go work the lights, and then they know that they get to do it, but they have to be chosen just like they were chosen to play a game or anything else, all right? You can make it available to them, but don't allow them to just have it, or else it'll be a problem. It is a common problem, though, I promise you. So don't let that even start here. We're starting a brand new campus. Let's do it right from the beginning. All right. One area that I have used the light switch for, that's I think a great ministry opportunity, is you have 2-service and 3-service kids. Those are kids that their parents are serving, and so they're in here for multiple times. There are some kids that they love every moment of that. There are other kids that get a little when they go in for a second or a third time and they're just not sure that they want to do that. If you take the opportunity to tell that kid, hey, would you like to serve during your second service here? They're all over it, and parents will be coming to you and saying, thank you so much. And they know their first service, they're here. Then they're going to go to church, just like all the other kids. The second service, I will even take a chair and set it over by the light switch, and they sit there during the movie and music because they're the light person. And they know that they run the lights. And that's a great way to engage even preschoolers in serving in God's church. So you can, that little light switch can actually become a ministry opportunity right there, all right? And then that would be a great reason to you run the lights until you have a 2-service kid that you need to give it to, so then the kids wouldn't even expect it. All right, so in your curriculum, you're all done. You're finishing up with movie and music, or no, you're halfway through, and Mr. Music's going to invite them to do sing along. They're going to stand up, and you're going to turn on the lights, or have one of the kids do it. And at that point, I would keep the kids in their small groups. All right. Some leaders bring them all to the front. It creates a little bit of chaos, and it's just better if the small group leader stands up and tells his small group, you guys all stay right here for our music, all right? And you could be doing it as the point person when you're doing that, so you guys can go ahead and stand up everywhere, everybody right where you are, You're standing up. Isn't this fun? We're getting up and down. And you're going to stay right here in your group. What I do is I get all the kids in the small group. We all hold hands and get in a good, nice, tight circle. They don't even need to look at the screen. The music is going to come on, but they don't need to. All right? They know the songs. Some of them don't even read yet, so it's not that big of a deal. And they're going to have a blast singing and dancing right in their confined little group. And that really helps with control. The only time you might want to switch that up is if you're serving at a smaller service and maybe you only have 2 groups of 6 kids. You can have a big circle in the middle of 12 kids and then separate back out to your group. Sound good? All right, everyone be seated. All right, so movie and music is at the time that the worship ends, you all are going to sit back down with your kids, and Miss Emily's going to take off again, and she's going to walk them through the next section of their curriculum, and then she will go ahead and finish up the curriculum. At that point, where the curriculum is done on the screen, you're going to come over and turn on the lights, and you're going to tell the kids, "That was awesome, wasn't it? Now, movie and music is all done. What time is it?"
Picture passes!
Yay! You guys did awesome! It is time for picture passes. Oh my goodness! And during picture passes, you're going to come over and you're going to get Emily's picture pass bag. Now she wears this exact bag in the movies, which this is a cool little aspect because it brings something from the movies that they've been watching right into their room, which is a lot of fun. You're going to get the picture pass bag and put it on, and you're going to get ready to go through the picture passes that have been flying around the screen, and the kids have been choosing throughout the entire curriculum time which picture pass they think goes with the story, all right? So now you're in control of the picture pass bag, and you get to have all kinds of fun with it. The thing that I find works the best with picture pass is just to tell the kids, okay, we're ready for the picture passes. Are you guys ready? Are you all ready?
Yeah!
Oh, good. I can't wait. Now, I'm going to count to 3, and then I'm going to pull it out, and I want you to holler which picture pass it is. Are you guys ready?
Ready!
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
The bottle!
It's the baby bottle. And you know what's awesome? On the back of the picture pass, they tell you what to say. Yay! They just helped us in every single way. And so you'll know that you're on week 4 this weekend. And so you're gonna, as soon as they say the bottle, you're gonna say, that's right, the bottle. And the bottle means I'm not a baby anymore. Yay! And then you can say, if you're acting like a baby, what kind of stuff are you doing? What kind of stuff are you doing if someone's acting like a baby?
Sucking your thumb.
Sucking your thumb and crying. Oh, there's so many funny things that babies do. But babies can even be very selfish, and babies can, they can't take care of themselves. But God wants us to do big things. And I can obey God more each day, and God will help me do big things for Him. Yay?
Yay!
Okay, so now we're going to do the next one, you guys. Are you ready?
Ready.
1, you'll want to make sure they're in here straight before you start. 1, 2, 3.
Muscle!
That's right, it's the big muscle. Oh my goodness. Now, do you have to be all grown up to be strong for God?
No.
No, you don't. You guys can be strong for God right here today. Yay! All right? The kids are going to love that. Any of the funny things that you can do with them, they absolutely love all the quirky little fun, silly things you do. So you go through all the picture passes like that. And, well, there's 3 of them in the bag. And the kids have a blast with picture passes. So then we're all done with picture passes, and we take off our picture pass bag, and then we tell the kids, well, picture passes are all done, so what time is it now?
Small group.
That's right, it's time for us to go to our small groups. Now, as you send the kids into small group, what you're going to want to do, when you're doing the point, you're the teacher for that day, you're going to want to get the small group information to each of the small groups. So in your bin, you're just going to reach in here and pull the small group sheet and the small group story cards out. And there's one for every small group. And you're going to take those around to everybody. I'm going to hand these out so you guys can I just pass these and we'll just send them through the room. So you guys can take a look at what a small group, what the small group piece looks like. Life Kids has done an incredible job at creating a small group piece that is very, very easy to navigate, and it takes you through it. Your small group literally takes you on a little journey with the kids. On the back of your small group curriculum, you can actually hold it right in front of the kids because on the back of it is their verse. All right? So you see the verse there, Luke 16:10. Whoever can be trusted, oh, very nice, with very little, can also be
Trusted with much.
Ooh, very nice. Okay, very good. So you're going to learn those verses. Oh my goodness, you guys are going to learn them. That's one of the cool things about serving in Life Kids. Did you guys know that? You can grow spiritually by serving in Life Kids. You learn so much out of this little stuff about who God is and what He has for us. We get to learn with our kids. And even brand new believers, I tell them, oh, it's the perfect place for you to be because you can just soak it in with the kids. You can learn with your kids. It's great. All right. So does everybody have one? So your small group leader guide, you see what to do first. Then you see review questions and actions, how to use extra time, and what to do with your adventure book. All right? So what to do first? You introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Mr. Stephen. That's what you tell your group. You're going to do that because a lot of the kids you will already know, but you're going to have new kids probably every single weekend. All right? So make sure you introduce yourself and then say the question, the answer, and the verse together. That's right across the top. So you're going to say to the kids, how can I do big stuff for God? And then the answer is, I obey God more each day. Isn't that fun? And then you get to your Bible verse and you're going to say that, which we already did. All right? Then you're going to get out your story cards. And here are the wonderful story cards right here. They're laminated and they've got all the pictures from the Bible app for kids on it. Because you know that our curriculum is tied to Bible app for kids. So the very same stuff that the kids are seeing on their Bible app at home, they're encountering in the curriculum. And even the icon that they push on the iPad to watch their story is the same when it comes up on our curriculum. So they'll know when they get home which story to go watch because they've just seen the very same icon. It's wonderful. And the adventure books even tell the parents how to download the Bible app for kids. Which, by the way, we just hit 5 million downloads.
Woo!
How about that? Unbelievable. Okay, so these cards are fun. They take you back through the Bible app story. And what you do is you lay the first card out, or you can hold it up. And once again, aren't they wonderful? Okay, so they put it there for you. You hold it up and you say, Pharaoh was the king of Egypt. He was afraid of God's people. He was very mean to them. Make sure you do stuff like that. The kids love it when you do that. They'll giggle and laugh and they'll have fun in small group. And so then you're going to take that card and you're going to look on your sheet of paper and it says for story card number 1, who was afraid of God's people? Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Make a mean face like Pharaoh. Let me see you all do it. Yes, Pharaoh was so mean. All right, you're just going to have fun with the kids like that. And then you're going to do that. They've given you an action for each one of the cards as you go through it. Then they give you some ideas, but you can just kind of have fun with it. One of the crazy things I love to do is just to mix them up on the floor. I'll mix them all up, and I'll just let the kids get them back into the correct order. And by doing that, I'll say, which one do you think is next? And then we'll lift it up and I'll say, you're right, that's card number 4. And they love getting their Bible story back into order. So that's really fun too. All right? And so that's what happens with the Bible story. Oh, and how to use extra time. That's great stuff, you guys. Just to grab onto that. Miriam obeyed her mom. What do you do to obey? And you can find that out. Am I reading a different one than you guys are reading? Yeah. The one you're reading is about being surprised, right? Yeah, okay. So that's a great idea. That's a great question too, because you're saying, man, he was so surprised when that happened. What is the greatest surprise that's ever happened to you? And then you're going to start hearing about getting a new puppy or going to Walt Disney World or all kinds of great surprises that they got to do. And you're going to start being able to peer into their life. And relationship is starting to build. And relationship causes evangelism, right? And that's one of our core values, and that's why we do what we do. So that's really, really cool. The adventure book happens at that time. And after the small group is completely done, we utilize the adventure book. Make sure that you go through the whole small group. It's really our aim for them to get through the small group, and the adventure books don't come out until the first parent shows up at the door to start checking their kid out. Now, it can be kind of weird because parents can come in the middle of your, so don't get confused by that. But when the parents start showing up at the door, it's a great time to go ahead, have prayer with your small group, and then get out your adventure books. And the adventure books come with stickers, and you can pull the crayons out, and they can work on that. We really want the kids to be in their small groups, encountering Jesus when their parents return. And I can tell you one of the saddest things is when that doesn't happen, and we have leaders that say, oh, we finished everything, we're going to go back into playtime. Well, the sad thing about that is we start down here with playtime, and that's what the parents see when they're dropping their kids off. All the kids are playing. And then we go through a great program for them, and it's an incredible curriculum. And then the parents get back because you've run out of stuff to do, which you shouldn't ever run out of stuff to do. There's more than enough. And the parents get back, and suddenly all they see is playtime again. So they've missed that entire thing. So that's a really a great thing to keep in your head. Don't ever go back into playtime. Keep them right in their groups until the last kid is gone. All right? And then we'll start getting toys back out and getting ready for the next little adventure. So small group ends at that time, and your adventure book is really a parent resource to you guys. It tells the parents how to log into the Bible app. It tells them where to go to download Mr. Music's song for the month. It tells them where you've been and what you've been doing that day. And then on the back it gives them activities to do at home to really help them be the spiritual leaders that God calls them to be. You know, it's not the church's job to lead these kids spiritually. It's the parents' job to do that. We want to support them as they do that, obviously, because we do want to lead kids to become fully devoted followers of Christ, every one of us. All right? Is that clear to everyone? Do we have any questions? Anything that's kind of unclear at all? Yes.
I just have a question about, you're in your small groups and then they're trying to check in kids. What do you do with those kids?
Oh, okay. So you've got the point person. Each of you will be able to run point. And so when you're in the room, make sure you're watching whoever's running point so you can really see what they're doing and be ready to jump in. So if that person who's running point is the person who needs to do the checking in and out at the door, they also take a group during the whole thing. The best thing that person can do is know which small group leader is going to take their group. So when the first parent shows up at the door, we combine those two groups and that person takes the door over. And that should be right when adventure books are starting as well. So the small group should be ending. That person, it does not hurt for a parent to wait at the door while you're having prayer with your group. No parent minds that. In fact, they love it. We get emails of how much they love it to just see their kids encountering stuff like that. And then you can literally take your kids and say, okay, I want you to come over here and sit down with Miss Kay in her group. Combine it, you walk over to the door and you start checking parents in. All right? Let me see yes.
So the adventure books, are we supposed to have crayons with them or no?
Yes. So there is not. There will be crayons on this little cart.
So you take them to each group. You take the little boxes.
There are little boxes, and each group has their own thing of crayons. Yep, absolutely. Very cool. It's 8:35 already, so we probably don't have time to take you through a little prop talk, but honestly, the prop talk will happen naturally if you just step out of your comfort zone a little bit. I think you saw some of that. All right? Very cool, you guys. Are you ready for this?
Yes!
It's going to be fun. So fun. If you guys want to take a sample of a prop talk and then kind of the stuff that I talked about tonight, I will stand over here and you guys can have these. Why don't I put them over here on the table? Like we grab them.
We have their whole piece.
Yep, it gives you your exact timing. You'll know. Like, you'll start at, I guess, 25. I typically, as they're finishing
Or we're setting these in a little video.
but it's generally 15 minutes. So at the 15 mark,
I know.
you'll know, you'll start learning exactly when you want to start. You start at 15. It's great. I love the course too, because it gives you a good idea of how you're feeling.
You realize now,
What you'll want to do is, as soon as you're ready to start doing some, I don't know who they've scheduled to do point this weekend, but as soon as you feel like you're ready to do that, all you need to do is station them, or let the person doing point now, hey, I'm ready to share that with you, and I'm not ready next. Okay, all right, you'll let them know when you're ready. All right, that'll be perfect.
Thank you, Stephen.
so I'm serving at 11:30.
See you later.
And we usually kick off things, the theme song at 11:45. What time would you
I typically start, let's see.
something about doing like 45 minutes?
Yeah. I typically do 45 to 50. I'm right in that range. I'm not going to do 45.
We do
You
have
feel like you're getting done
we do have
early?
extra time.
Um,
And at Tulsa, Anthony, painting's completely colored by the time the parents come.
Oh, okay.
And then we have playtime, just like you were saying.
I would start it late.
Yeah.
I'd start it later.
Yeah.
One thing that I've noticed that happens in Roanoke, here they are. One thing that I've noticed is they've got, I'll have leaders that when I'm sitting down doing small group, if I can call them to right now doing small group, I'm about right there when everybody else is finishing. So they just move through this stuff way too fast, and they can just take time to get to
Well, I like how you explain how you can do it. This is kind of, we didn't go through that, so that's
Okay. See, if you go through that, you're probably
Yes.
going to need the time.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you get over here, if the parents aren't here yet, you could take 10 minutes doing that. Just doing the
I like
kids.
that. I
Well,
like
tell me about your baby. That's the coolest surprise ever. Oh, that's awesome. Tell me what else happened at Walt Disney World while you were there. That's relational building time, and that's what really gets things done.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's
Well, it seems like they start to lose interest and go wild. When you
Yeah.
go back into place. I mean,
Yeah. So having strong boundaries in the room is going to make a huge difference for you. And then this prayer time that takes place, I didn't mention this, but I should have. To take time to ask the kids what you want, what they want you to pray about. So go through each kid in your group and say, what do you want me to pray about today for you? And hear their prayer requests. And you're going to hear everything from my dog is sick to my dad slept on the couch last night. You're going to hear it all.
Oh, I'm sure.
But it's a great opportunity to start peering into their soul and letting them understand that you care about them and you love them and that you want to help them develop spiritually. That prayer time is unbelievable. That time alone. That's another 5 minutes. You know what I mean?
I got one question for you. One problem I have at Tulsa, and I usually end up standing up sometimes. We have kids, you sit down with them, they just crawl right into you. They want to crawl in your lap.
Okay.
And I don't like the image of that.
Right.
Because, you know, parent walks by, so I'll stand up sometimes.
Okay.
Or sit in a chair. That way they can't do that.
Yeah.
How do you?
What I do, because we don't allow the kids to sit in our laps in any of the curriculum rooms, and if someone sees that through the window, they're going to come and stop it anyway, you know, if they see a kid in your lap. So what I do to keep kids from doing that, because all the kids want to sit in your lap.
They do.
They all want to sit in your lap. So what I tell them is, hey guys, I don't have enough room on my lap for all of you, so you guys have to all sit around me. And then automatically they know there's a boundary there. Like that's a no-go place. I'm not going there because I just told them no.
Yeah.
That's not happening. But I really love you guys, and I don't have room for all of you. So just sit all around me, and they love that. Now I do pick, and I did this for a lot of leaders. I have them pick runners. So we know what kids are runners, and which kids are going to just get up and dart under the slide or whatever is in our room. And so I pick the runners, and I'll tell the point person, make sure that you assign your runners to people and let them know these are runners, and put them under each arm.
So you can't do that.
Yeah, you've got, so you're sitting here on the floor,
Okay.
like this, and you've got a kid here and a kid here that are runners, and you've got your arms ready to just cover. You don't have to hold them the whole time, but if you need to, you can hold them
reach out.
down.
Yeah.
And then you've got these kids out here sitting all around you that aren't runners. So, you know, I have had the excuse sometimes from leaders that say, hey, that's why I've got this kid in my lap because they're a runner, and so I've got to hold them, or else I'm not going to be able to, you know, keep track of them. And I always tell them, your arms work just as well,
Exactly.
and you've got two that way.
Well, I don't like angry parents. You know, it can be perceived as,
It can be, and that's the reason why we don't even do that.
Yeah.
They keep it. We always tell leaders, keep in mind how a parent would feel if they were looking through the window. So, and they do. So, yeah, that's great. I'm glad you feel that way.
yeah.
So, you're gonna have so much.
Oh, I know. I'm probably how excited.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm stoked. This is great.
Well, I'm excited for you.
Hey, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for all your help.
Yeah.